Hey everybody, welcome to Popular Unknown Paintball Live. Um, this is kind of a fake it till you make it episode. I had some plans for this week, but things were pretty crazy. So, I didn't quite get all the connections and everything that I wanted to get done, unfortunately. But that's okay because truthfully, I'm just not in the best of moods. But I do want to talk paintball, and I wanted to make sure that I went live for you guys. And I also wanted to test my brand new pop filter here. I got special colored ones, which I think is kind of neat. But yeah, so this is a basic of fake it to make it. So if anybody wants to chime in, comment, or wants to join us, don't hesitate to message me directly, and I will add you in. Let me just check. I think not somebody else. Hey Lex, how's it going? Um, J and J for life. That's got to be a booty boy that says that. See, what was right here like this? J and J for life. I'm betting that's Bobby Douse, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, I need new barrels for my paintball guns, and that's why I decided to talk about it today, because I've been looking through the used. I've been. Hey Sean, good to see you. I've been looking through the used ads, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to get something freak board, maybe one of my old boas, or maybe an old J&J. I've got a bunch of old barrels, and I think it might be kind of neat to bore out a vintage barrel to use that and then have freaks. And I didn't know if having a freak and a freak XL, if there's really that much of a difference for those people that are playing, because freaks are pretty much the industry standard, I would say. And I saw this fantastic Stella back for a really good price, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll buy that." And I've seen some kits, and yeah, Sean's saying Inception Stella. Thank you so much. Um, but when you consider the quality of barrels and manufacturing and paintball guns and all of that today, there's so many barrels out there, and they're all excellent. And I'm wondering if I had unlimited cash right now, um, I would probably get one of the new F1 interlock barrels, and I think that's pretty cool. Actually, one second. What happened to OTP and their sizers? I'm not sure, but I know that I have an OTP barrel and I have sizers for it. And if you look at the autococker that I have, it's got an OTP barrel with sizers on it on a lot of my Popular Unknown podcast pictures when I'm wearing my OG Ironman gear. So I'm trying to decide what kind of barrel that I want, and I don't know. And so I thought it might be kind of interesting to talk about. I'd like to hear what other people had to say. Now, let me just double check my phone here. Like I said, this is not the most organized show today. I'm just sort of winging it as I go. So let me just take a look at this here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Everything's buried. I do apologize, guys. You got to set. So Sean says he's got to set up for OTP Bobby. So I guess that's the Bob Long ones. They were pretty cool back then. And let me just see here. I'm trying to log in so that I can see. I'm getting comments, but I can't read everybody's comments. So I do apologize for that right now. Let me just see what the comments are. I turn the volume down so now I can follow along. Yay. It's called cheating, people. All right. So Bobby says, I wonder what happened to the OTP and their sizers. Well, I have Paul's OTP and sizers. And who said Stella? I was trying to see who said J&J for life, so I'm guessing that's Bobby Doused. But yeah, so if anybody wants to join in, by the way, on this talk and talk with me instead of just typing in, don't hesitate to send me a DM or mention it in, and I'll add you in because, like I said, I don't have any set plan. But I was looking at the Stella barrel, and I've held a few of them, and they seem like really fantastic. I mean, Simon at Inception Designs, he doesn't make garbage. Like he just makes absolutely amazing stuff. And Freak barrels, they've lasted the test of time. Like they just flat out have. So I kind of like the idea of that. And then if you get the Freak inserts, you can bore out stock barrels. And okay, Bobby says best deal is to get a 14-inch oversized barrel Freak board for stainless steel Freak XL inserts. Now, Bob, did you want to, by the way, Bob, do you want to join in on the podcast? I can link you in. Like I have no problem with that. Because I'd love to have you on and chat with you. You're just awesome. But when you say oversized barrel, now are you talking something like 688, 689? Are you talking one of the old original stock barrels that were like 691? That's sort of what I'm wondering. But yeah, like I mean, because I have a couple die boomsticks that are stainless steel that I just loved, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to bore them out. And I absolutely loved my BOA barrels. Like, I mean, loved them. And they're bored for 688. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to like scuff them up or wreck those and bore those out. But I would love to use BOAs again, although they are really, really heavy. And I'd kind of like to use something modern and new. Now, when I look at the Stella barrels, they take Planet Eclipse tips. And there doesn't seem to be a great deal of options to get Planet Eclipse tips. Now, if you go to your standard Freak tips, there's all sorts of colors and there's all sorts of sizes, and they're easy to find. Like even that one right there, right there, I have a purple. I can see there. I have a purple teardrop Freak tip that just waiting for a thing to be used. So I don't know. And okay, and Rose says, "I love my Deadly Wind with Freak inserts." Okay, well, let me just show Rosa here. Yeah. And somebody says, "Thanks for joining the EMAC group." Well, you are very welcome, David McCauley. Sorry. Uh, yeah, so I've got I'm watching my cell phone so I can actually see everybody's comments properly. Let me just put this back up to say what I'm talking about. So yeah, this isn't going to be my best podcast, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to be going. I just wanted to make sure that I had a bit of a talk, and I'm hoping somebody will message me to say they'd like to join me. So if you want to join, please do. And Sean says Deadly Winds are one of the few barrels I don't have here. Well, I can't say I've owned a Deadly Wind, to be honest. I'm not sure. I know that when I was holding the Automag, it had a Smart Parts carbon fiber that had Freak inserts as well. Now, for those of you that are actually watching, and there's only 6, I'm keeping this on the down low. I'm not broadcasting to Paintball Media Magazine this time because I don't really have this planned, and so this is just more of an intimate talk with you all that want to hang out. But I absolutely loved the carbon fiber barrel with the whole carbon fiber autococker body and whatnot. And I just kind of like to get a new barrel. Now, the barrel kits I have right now are some of the Planet Eclipse barrels that came with the E-Tech 4, and they had purchased the sizer backs. So I have actual Planet Eclipse barrels with barrel tips, which are nice, but they're a plain black. And then I purchased a number of, I'm going to call them no-name barrels, but they actually have the Premium Paintball Products logo on them. But I purchased a bunch of barrel backs from Trevor at Premium Paintball Products, obviously. And they use Planet Eclipse tips as well. And that's because I had an ETHA 1 and I had the E-Tech 4. And I figured that's what I'd be using the most. And they're autococker threads. So if I ever switched over to something else, I could use them because I wasn't expecting to be playing as much as I am right now. So I'm really not sure what I want. Now, I'm loving the looks of those new F1 interlock barrels. And I like those because back in the day when we used, what's it called? Line of sight Bushmasters. Actually, do I have one here? Oh, that's a Ranger. Never mind. War Game Project Ranger here. I thought I had a line of sight Bushmaster around here, but I guess I don't. Um. Anyway, so somebody on Twitch is saying, I have a joke. What do you call a Nutella man? This is going to be interesting. Okay, go ahead, Quixie. I'm here. We're ready to hear a joke. If it's rude, though, I'm not reading it out, just so you know. Fair warning. But so while we're waiting for him to say what his joke is, the line of sight barrels, you would unscrew the nut and the actual barrel would slide out. It doesn't have threads. It just has a ridge that the bolt would hold it in, or the screw would hold it in. And so when you would take it out, you'd always try to mark the barrel so that you would know exactly which way the barrel was. So that way, if there was any damage inside the barrel, or if there was any scuffs, or if there was an imperfection, the barrel would always shoot exactly the same every time you shot it. That way, if there was a bit of a hook or whatnot, the paintballs would always function the same. And that was always one of my concerns with freak barrels, was that when you put the shims in, or not the shims, but the liners in, you'd never know if they were being put in the same place every single time, or if they would shift, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's one of the things I like about these new F1, the interlock barrels, is the sleeves actually lock in place. So they're always the same thing. So I'm really intrigued by that, and I would love to actually get one of those to use them, and give that a try. I'm not sure. So the answer to the joke was, I poop. There's a reason why we all hear crickets. Not the best joke, but thank you for sharing, Quixie. I do appreciate you chiming in a little bit. By the way, he is watching on Twitch. I also am broadcasting live on YouTube, and I'm broadcasting live on my Facebook page. I decided not to broadcast on Paintball Media Magazine today because we're talking about barrels, and I didn't want to affect any sponsorships or things like that in case certain barrels started to get bashed for whatever reason. And I hope nobody would bash products, but I would love to hear people's preferences. So, yeah. I wish BOA barrels were still around. Now, I know J&J were fantastic back in the day, and I know most of the Booney boys that I played with loved them. Elliot says Stella for sure. Thank you, Elliot. Hey, Elliot, did you want to join in on the conversation? Do you want me to put you up on live? Just send me a message if you want to join in, bud. I'll happily put you on. Same with you, Sean. If you want to join in, just say the word. And Rosa, obviously, you're always welcome. And Bobby, you're welcome as well, because I haven't seen you. I've been begging to get you on the podcast. And they were older barrels, and I have a couple J&Js, I think, and I know I have a few BOAs. I'm just trying to decide if I want to bore out an old classic stainless steel die boomstick. Oh, we got a message here. 1 second. Elliot said, let's do it. All right. So let's get Elliot on here. 1 second. Let me just create the invite. That way I'm not talking by myself, because nobody wants to see me talk by myself. Nobody tunes into my podcast to actually see me. I know that for a fact. I know I'm a nice guy. I know everybody likes me. Well, maybe not everybody, but I'm just saying. And Sean, we are all going to compare barrels. Absolutely. Actually, Sean, why don't you join in on the conversation too, if you can? Bear with me 1 second here. Let me just call you up. And I am sending you an invite to my friend. So click on it, follow the link, and join in. There we go. So hopefully somebody joins in a little bit. I've only got 3 people watching, which is unfortunately too bad. But yeah, like I'm not saying I've got the this is not going to be the best podcast I've ever done or the best episode. So I warn you all now. But yeah. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if I want to bore something out. Because most new barrels, they really affect the weight. Oh, wait 1 second. Hey, Elliot, how's it going?
Hey, man. Good.
Welcome to my dumpster fire of an episode.
Hey, I want to mention that I got upgraded from the attic to guest bedroom for my
Sweet.
paintball gear. Yeah, that was a big deal.
Well, that's awesome. So, you are a big fan of the Stella barrels?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Oh, yeah. A lot of it just comes down to Simon, really. I've always loved, because it reminds me of the old All-American barrel.
Right.
So, just meeting Simon and him being so great to Carolina Hustle and just the sport in general.
Right.
I really like to support him, especially with the new XL barrel. It's awesome.
I haven't tried it. And in no way, shape, or form am I criticizing Simon, because his stuff is awesome. And anybody that says Simon's stuff isn't awesome deserves a slap. But my question is that if it's a Stella barrel and it's using the freak inserts, and paintballs only really need the first 9 inches.
Yep.
Hold your jokes. If the paintball only needs the first 9 inches, then it doesn't matter if it is a freak or a Stella or a bored out barrel, because it's essentially a freak barrel no matter how you look at it. And then it's using the Planet Eclipse tips, which nothing against Planet Eclipse, because their stuff is awesome, and anybody that says different deserves a slap. But they've got that reverse threading for the tip, and that irritates the crap out of me. It just does. Now, I mean, I know is what it is, and I have to accept it, and that's what the barrels I'm using now are. But I'm just wondering if, plus all the new barrels right now are so light, and I'm wondering if I freak bore one of my old die boomsticks that I don't like that much. It'll have that little extra stainless steel on the back, so I'll have that little extra weight to balance the gun off a bit. I know everybody loves light guns, but when you've got all your regs in the back and you've got your tank in the back and you've got all that weight pulling your gun backwards, I don't mind a little extra weight if the gun balances itself. What do you think about that? Like, you've been playing for a long time, so.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's a few guys that'll do the stainless steel. I know it's tricky. That's what a lot of people said, but I know there's a few people that would do it. But I mean, I agree with you. I mean, as long as I think it's an 8-inch control bore, that's really the important part of it. To me, it just reminds me of the old All-Americans, not the teardrop, but the All-American barrel, which, I mean, back when I started in 95-ish.
Yep.
That was the thing. When everything was starting to really roll out, that was awesome.
Well, and I liked them. Don't get me wrong. But when they were coming out, I started getting BOA barrels. And I liked BOA barrels better, like the polished brass. They just, I don't know what, it just was so much nicer, I thought. And nothing against the All-American, because, I mean, they were wicked barrels. They really, really were. And J&J were coming out, and then there was all those PMI ceramics. There was the J&J ceramics. Like, there was so many great barrels that are out there. And then there were a few, like the early CP barrels were horrible. Like, and for the life of me, I do not know how Tippmann was able to release those Tippmann 98 barrels where they were all hatched up on the inside. Do you remember those?
I don't remember I remember when Tippmann came out with the flat line, and that changed a lot of stuff around then.
Right. But what I mean is with the Tippmann 98 barrels, if you ever get a look at an old one, like one of the original ones, so the barrel is about this long.
Okay.
So this much of it was anodized, and this much of it was still scratched up, unpolished.
Oh.
Like, you could see where it had all the bore marks and everything. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what I just don't know. So, I mean, I owned a couple 98s, and the first thing I did was I took the barrel. I was like, you just throw it out like garbage right off the bat. So, and
here's another one you do that with.
What am I looking at?
EMEC. As soon as you get the EMEC, put a different barrel on it.
Well, but they take autococker threads, right?
Yes. Yeah,
so
Planet's all autococker threads, and even the new Shocker is autococker thread too.
Yes. And Robert Habson, you run a 12-inch stainless steel J&J, but that's because you're a mag fan. Who likes auto mags anyway?
I tell you what, for a budget baller, even the new or the CP one piece is not a bad option for $30 or whatever it is.
Right. And that's fine, but do they take what's it called? Freak inserts?
No, I don't believe those do.
So like what I don't understand is why don't
sure.
why don't paintball manufacturers just start freak boring them right out of the box? Like it may add $20 or $20 ish manufacturing fees, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're making the barrel from scratch and a straight barrel that's freak board will work just fine. I don't understand why the people aren't just doing that right out of the box. I mean, they do everything else right out of the box.
Yeah. You talking about the 4-inch or the new XL or both?
It doesn't matter. Both.
Yeah.
I would assume 4-inch, but
yeah. Well, I know I have a Scony back, and that's an XL, or I'm sorry, that's a regular freak insert. And I mean, he puts out good stuff for relatively good price. So,
right.
You know, I'm a big fan of the inserts, period. So I'm with you on that. Absolutely.
Right. And with the Scony, what kind of tips do they use?
I got one right here. This is on my Sci-Fi autococker. It might be hard to see, but
we'll take the barrel off, dude.
Yeah. So if it's easier to see, it's got a almost like a die front, maybe.
Okay. So, but I mean, you'd have to know from the threads, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a 2-piece. It's got the insert in there.
Right.
So,
but I was just wondering what I'm just wondering because I mean, there's die tips, there's Planet Eclipse tips, there's Freak tips, and now there's the Freak XL tips, and those are the 3 basic ones.
Now, are the where it meets up are those different threading? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Like so the Planet Eclipse has a backwards thread, which I find annoying as all anything. Because I try to tighten the barrel up, I unscrew the tip, which is just like, I want a firm. It's just sort of like I try to get the barrel in and get a nice firm with against the O-ring that I put in there, and all of a sudden the tip starts was winding off. It's like, why do you do this? I mean, they must have a reason, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I like the XL, the regular insert. I like all that stuff because I got a bunch of Stella backs, you know, and you end up spending a bunch of money for the 680, 685, blah blah blah,
right?
Blah, blah. Whereas you can, you know, $15 on pick your favorite website, you know, you can get all the backs you want.
Right. Well, I mean, when I picked up my E-Tech 4, it came with 3 backs for like it came with the Planet Eclipse, and I forget what the Planet Eclipse barrels are called.
Shaft.
Yeah, I think it was I think it's the Shaft 4. So I've got 3 backs, 3 legit Shaft 4 backs, which means I have wicked barrels. They're fantastic. And then I picked up some other barrel backs from Premium Paintball Products, which is Trevor Van Dorser, and they're good. I mean, they're a no-name brand per se, but they work. And I had those for the Etha 1 because I couldn't justify spending more money on a barrel than I did on the gun. And that gun up there, not with that tank, but I got an air system and the gun and a Halo 2 loader. I think I got the whole thing for like $150, which is a
You
steal
can't beat
because it's a
that.
fully
You
functioning
can't.
gun. So
Yeah.
I wanted some backs and I didn't want to bother buying new tips for it and everything. So that's why I bought these little um, premium paintball products backs, and it's worked pretty good. And then I got the shaft back. So some of the sizes are a little different. So I tend to go with the shafts most of the time because I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd
Yeah.
like to stay away from the Planet Eclipse the way the tips, because I don't like how it back screws. And plus I'd kind of like the color code. So I don't know.
Barrels are kind of a funny thing. I feel like these days, for me, mainly, I have to really barrel paint match with my autocockers. Not so much the shocker or anything like that, but with autocockers, it is so key because
Oh
it's
yeah.
there's nothing more annoying than that thing, rolling out the front. It's like, man, come on.
Yeah.
You don't know what velocity you're going to be at. You don't know where it's going to go. So
Right.
basically autocockers for sure.
Yeah. And I know that. I mean, I've rocked autocockers for a long
Oh yeah.
time,
Yep.
but I don't know. I just kind of like to have a really nice barrel. And I'm trying to decide what to get. Have you tried the new the F1 or Field 1 interlock barrels? Have you seen them?
No, I haven't. Just because Simon's a supporter of the team, so
Sure.
I really try to stick with him. I'm sure they're fantastic. I mean, they put out because that's Bob Long sold out to them, so I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
they're absolutely
it's
fantastic.
basically run by Dynasty now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
I'm
I
sure
mean,
they're fantastic.
it's not just Dynasty, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a few players from Dynasty, but it's
Yeah,
so I mean, if Yosh and all those guys are a big part of the creation and developments, it's going to be a good product. And
yeah,
truthfully, I don't really know of any bad products of barrel wise that are out right now. I mean, I am sure that there's some stuff that's coming out of China that is random that you would pick off on, I don't know, some app like Wish or something. And I'm sure that they're not the best. But ultimately, if you're getting a name brand paintball product, be it Empire or GOG or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and especially if you're buying stuff from Inception Designs, like it's going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just wondering if it's really worth spending the extra money for some of the higher end name brands when all they're using is a freak insert, which is the common for all.
Yeah. It's kind of like my business. I'm in sales for Caterpillar. It's people like to spend the money on
Right.
something that says cat when other brands will do it, certainly, but I think some of it's definitely namesake and that's why I said like this Scony barrel. I use this for a long time. I forget what I paid, maybe $40-$50 maybe with
Right.
the insert, and it shoots great. It really does. I mean, there's a reason why Free Flow uses their feed necks and some of their stuff. I mean,
Right. Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm sure it's fantastic.
mm-hmm.
Now, just your curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't use it anymore and you're always using Simon stuff, you want to send that my way?
I can. I can certainly do that.
We'll talk off.
I got
off
more
camera.
barrels I know what to do with. I mean, in fact, I just got one come back from Anno right now from Blizzard. I got all kinds of stuff, so I'd be happy to send it to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, so we'll talk off camera.
Okay.
I'll be the vulture here. By the way, Robert Hansen, I sent you a link to if you want to join in on us with us. But yeah, like I don't know. I want something newer.
Mm-hmm.
And that shaft 4 barrel with the threading going backwards, it bugs me. And I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good barrel because it's fantastic quality, like fantastic quality. It's just a little pet peeve.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too is, I mean, obviously, paint's getting smaller and smaller.
Yes.
So, that's a whole nother bag of, stuff to go through. But
right.
For me, I really see the main difference in autocockers, honestly. I mean, I could put the Scony on my CPO on anything, and it's going to work phenomenal. I can do my Simon stuff, no problem. But it's really just on my autocockers I see the main difference.
Right. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean, can you hear me? I don't think you can hear me. I think, Sean, what you're going to need to do is log out and then log back in again because I can't hear you at all, my friend. So, you couldn't hear him at all, could you?
No.
No. He's probably got a bad connection. That's Sean Halpin, by the way.
Got it. Now, so what's, besides barrels, what's the next event you're trying to go to?
Well, they just Canada actually just maintained the border being closed for another 30 days.
Yeah.
There is a big game happening in Denver, which is a fundraiser for the Ally Remembered Foundation.
Yep.
And I would really like to be there for that.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd really like me to be there for that. But I don't know if it's going to be possible for me to even leave the country.
Right. That's tough, man. I mean, it's...
Yeah. The next one is it looks like I am, assuming that the event still happens and assuming that the borders open, I will be at the Iron City Classic.
Ooh.
Team Fox has graciously invited me to play on their team for 5-man. And they are the Airgun Designs sponsored team. And they used to be they were always an Airgun Designs factory team, but they used to be one of the feeders for Swarm. And if you go back that far, Swarm was a devastating team back in the 90s. I don't remember if they were actually pro or amateur A, but back then there was a very fine line between pro and amateur A. Basically being that what's it called? Pros played for money and amateurs played for prizes, but there were more amateur teams than there were pro teams, and a lot of teams wouldn't go to pro because they didn't want to give up all the extra games, because once you played pro you weren't allowed to play amateur. That was sort of the rules back then. It was kind of loose. Hey, Sean,
how you guys doing?
Good. Glad to hear you. And we got Robert.
Hey, buddy. Hey, I figured it out. I'm a novice on this computer stuff.
Hey, well, welcome. And by the way, hold on one second. I'm just going to kill this for here.
Huh?
I'm going to hide that. There we go. Robert Hansen, by the way, are you going to be playing for Team Fox at ICC?
I am going to be playing with Team Fox 5-man at ICC.
Yes. I have been invited to play alongside you yet again, my friend.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it or not. I'll just be an alternate, but I'll probably be there, not making my bunker yet again.
Well, hey, you lived long enough that one good game I had. So.
Yeah, and then you got stomped on the head.
Yeah, well, occasional curb stomp that puts you in the right mindset, I guess.
Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Okay, so Robert Hansen and I were playing on Destiny Midwest at NXL Chicago last year. And I was just an alternate helping out and whatnot. And Robert Hansen, despite his age and needing a walker, is still fast as lightning and snake player. Like, just phenomenal little snake player.
I don't know if I'm fast as lightning.
Well, you might have lost a step or two from like the last 20 years, but that being said, you were still pretty fast. Anyway, the other team was so upset with how he was playing, or how we were all playing, because we were actually they got aggressive. They literally shot him, and then when they jumped over the snake, they stomped on the back of his neck, like right. They just
lower back of my head, yeah.
And if I had seen it and I was there, and not that I would advocate ever taking matters into your own hands, it probably was. It was this close to being a bench clearing brawl, except nobody knew exactly what happened until too late.
Paco and Justin both wanted to come under the net.
Yeah,
actually, when that happened,
I was offside, but I'd already been shot out, and I was like swearing back in the anyway. Yeah, it was, but it was. We still won a couple games. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we won a couple games.
So how are you doing, Sean?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. And you're on your laptop now?
No, actually, I'm running off my iPhone right now.
I figured because you're sort of like this, but you said you were going for your laptop, so you cheated.
No, I couldn't get the thing fired up, and I've never done this, so I wasn't about to go screwing around and lose out in the entire broadcast.
This isn't much of a broadcast. I'm not broadcasting live on Paintball Media Magazine tonight. And the reason for doing that is because this one just isn't professional enough for me. This is sort of a one of my fake it till you make it kind of episodes.
What's wrong with that?
Some of those are pretty good.
Well, thank you. And I really did want to talk about barrels. So I thought that I didn't want to affect any advertisers and things like that. I just wanted to keep this amongst us and, anybody that wants to follow along. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. By the way, does anybody like my new pop filter? It's orange. Does it show well as orange? I bought like a whole kit, multiple colors. Nobody cares.
Nice.
At all. All of you.
Hey.
Anyway.
I have a desk and everything to sit at. I'm sitting on the floor in here.
Oh, are you?
Oh yeah, I got like a personal overflow of a paintball room here. I'm slowly getting into building, but I can't settle on a desk and a workbench to bring my toolboxes and everything up. So I've got all my guns and customer guns sitting behind me.
Right.
And I've got all my extra gear and useless crap and parts sitting in boxes here around me on the floor.
What kind of guns you running?
Sorry?
What kind of guns you running? For your personal.
I've got stuff that goes back into the mid to late 80s, and I'm running
Nice.
stuff current as the new free flow calibers.
Yeah. So, Sean, why don't you plug the business you're in so everybody that's following knows who you are, my friend?
It's all word of mouth for me, mostly in the area. I'm trying to get it off the ground under the name Sinister Services. All I offer is rebuild, tuning, timing, you name it. All the old school stuff is what I mainly stick to. But I am getting a few more of the space guns after coaching a couple of local OPL speedball teams.
Nice.
Awesome. And for those of you that don't know Elliot, why don't you plug your team and the charity that you guys do?
Yeah, well, actually, we're in two now. So the team's Carolina Hustle. We work with Canines for Service. They are a local to Wilmington, North Carolina. They take dogs from shelters, temperament, test them and all that, and then put about 2,500 hours into them. And they're either for PTSD veterans or people with disability. So we've been working with them since December, I guess. And we actually brought on, I just had her under me, but now we're with dogs on deployment as well. And I actually have a dog with me that her dad just went on deployment, and we will be fostering her until he comes home. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to redo the jerseys, add Allie Remember, and a bunch of people. But yeah, we're just, it's kind of my passions of paintball and caring for my dogs. I got a couple labs myself. So, bring it all together.
I'm not sure if you actually want to put my hand on it because that might decrease your value a little bit, but
yeah. Right.
And Robert, I know I've had you on the actual podcast before, but you might want to let everybody know how long you've been playing, and you are part of Destiny Midwest and whatnot.
I'm with Destiny Midwest and also with Team Fox, and I've been playing since '97, and I'm still running the Automag I bought used off Sandman in '97.
We got to update you, dude. We really do. Nothing against mags. As you know, I like them.
Well, I've got the mini GS that we played Chicago with. And I mean, the gun runs great. It doesn't break paint.
Right.
When I bought it, I wasn't expecting to get back into tournament paintball. So that's why I went kind of cheap. I was just going to run some open game. And well, here I am.
Yeah, but hey, they work. And that's all that matters. So, Sean, what is your favorite barrel out there now that's newer?
I've been running the Stellas mainly the last season or two. Like I said earlier, I still stick with my J&J Edge kit, and I've also got a die UL that I had free poured by a local guy.
Now, do you like the old barrels that are freak board? I haven't tried one yet. So does it work well for you?
As long as you've got a reputable guy doing the machine work, you'll love being able to breathe new life into old barrels. Like,
Okay.
I remember, God, probably the early 2000s. I think I paid close to $300 plus for an old 16-inch two-piece UL.
Yeah.
I love the thing. I ran it on my old Sheridan's cocker adapter. I ran it on multiple cockers, and the paint got smaller, and I stopped using it.
Yep. I've literally got about 40 barrels, 40, 50 barrels autococker threaded, like in a box.
Yep.
Because I used to buy kits, and then like buy an autococker wherever I would go, and then I would strip parts and I'd resell it, and I would use the parts that I wanted, and I would build up little super cockers and I'd sell those off. And then I don't know why, but I hoarded barrels because it was always like, oh, I want to try this or I want to try that, and I never know when this is going to go good or that. It's just stupid. So I've got all these barrels and I can't use any of them, and it irritates me.
Hey, I just put the Dox adapter in my Automags. Now all my twist lock barrels.
Right. Now, question for you with regards to that Dox adapter.
Yes.
My buddy picked up an adapter. I don't think it was a Dox. I think it was a Dox clone, if you will, adapter. Okay. But the barrel actually moves a little bit inside the body. Does yours move a little bit in the body as well? When
I first put it in, I could shake it back and forth from front to back, and I could lightly spin it. And I got on the AGD Buy Sell Trade group, and a bunch of guys gave me some advice. What I ended up doing, I had to tighten up the pin for the twist lock because it still uses that to lock it in place.
Right.
And I took a barrel O-ring off one of my twist locks and put it behind the adapter where that spacer is in the body for the original bodies on the mags.
Okay.
Tightened everything up, blocked it up. They said you might still hear a ping because it will move a little bit, but mine, it's solid. I've played with it since I put it in. It's fantastic. Just takes my cocker freak kit now.
Cool. Oh, and Jake Superman says put an O-ring in it, which you just said.
Yeah.
let me just swing over here. Why don't I just send
I believe Jake was one of the guys telling me to put an O-ring in it.
Oh, probably. Well, Jake is the Automag Whisperer. Like that.
Yes.
That's just the end be all and end all. Like,
pretty sure it's just a standard tank O-ring for the barrel adapter if you shim it.
So,
yeah,
Jake,
but
if you're watching,
I had the
invited to join
barrel
us.
O-rings, so why not? I knew it wouldn't interfere with anything. I was worried with the tank O-ring being a little bit smaller if it would catch out and the bolt would catch it, so I didn't want to mess with that. So the barrel O-ring was perfect in there.
Cool. So if you've got the adapter, then what kind of barrel do you like using, Rob?
Now that I've put the adapter in, I've only got 2 cocker thread barrels, the stock barrel for my GS and then my freak kit that I bought when I bought the GS. So cool.
So you're running a freak kit then as well? Like just
yes. Now, otherwise my go-to was always that 12-inch J&J stainless, and it was the one that had the instead of being rifled, it had 4 straight grooves down the inside of the barrel. So if you chop the ball, you shoot like 2 balls and your barrel was clean. Everything was channeled. Your paint was flying straight again. Fantastic barrel. And it was the smallest bore twist lock barrel that I still had for this small caliber paint they're making now.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't fully understand why people are using smaller paint these days. I mean, I've had numerous explanations from people that are in the know. And by that, I mean actual paintball manufacturers. But what I don't understand is that if your customers want something, why wouldn't you give it to them? Like, I mean, the biggest mistake Henry Ford ever made was he wouldn't give anybody a car painted anything other than black. And that was the birth of most of his competition because they offered different colors. So I don't get it. So Sean, what barrel did you say you like using the most? The Stellas?
The Stellas are the barrel systems I'm using most often these days.
Now, when you're using the Stella barrels, are you using the ones with the freak bores, or are you using the ones that are already have the pre-sized backs?
I'm using the pre-sized backs.
Now, how many pre-sized backs are there in the kit? Like, is it just like a 3 thing, or is it like how many backs do you have?
I've got 5 backs and 2 tips.
Okay.
So that's everything from, it goes up in 0.005. So 675 being the smallest.
Right.
And 695 being the largest. And it's, what is it? I want to say a 688 and then 697 for tips.
Okay.
I'd have to go into the kit.
Now, do you actually own a 695, and would you actually use it like ever?
We had a humid day last October. Yeah, it was last October. We did a little 3-man tournament out of the Toronto area.
Okay.
And the humidity was high and the paint was swelling. We had guys using any 690 to 695, and we were just over.
Huh.
But, I mean,
by the way, I just want to.
So I was running a Viking where I normally run autocockers.
Right. By the way, I just want to point out that we've got 4 people in the chat and only 2 people watching. I find that hilarious and sad. So I wouldn't take it personally, guys. This is definitely not one of my better shows, but
well, you had Sticks watching when I joined. It must have been me.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I can see that.
You gotta go wake up Bobby.
It's the Chicago Cubs. It's the Cubbies shirt.
Well, you know, tried and true, red and blue.
So, I just don't know what barrel I should try to get. You know, like, or try to use. I mean, anybody wants to throw me one, I'll shoot anything just to give it a whirl because I'm a barrel whore. But I don't know. When it comes to trying to lay money down, I keep looking at freak barrel or freak kit seem to be the way to go because they are basically the industry standard. And I'm not taking away from the quality from anything else, but if you want to have something that's adjustable and whatnot, that just seems to be the way to go. But if that's the case, why would I spend, let's say, $150 on Joe Schmo's custom barrel that takes freak inserts as to opposed to boring out something from the, I don't know, mid 90s because it's still using the freak kit and then it's not touching anything as it flies out the barrel.
My recommendation would be budget wise, the Scony. Love his stuff. And then Stella beyond that, if you want to spend the money. I've used this Scony a lot. It works pretty damn well.
But you don't know what kind of tips it takes.
I want to say he put on his thing something like, this is not a dye tip or something like that. So I'm assuming it's probably something like that.
But it looks like dye threads, like the back and everything. I'm guessing that's dye threads. Sean, do you have any idea what Scony threads is?
I don't know.
Tip threads?
I wanna say dye just by going by what I can see on LED screen there.
Yeah.
All I've ordered honestly from Scony are the feed necks. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I would say that's more dye tip.
Oh, Jake is saying that it is ultralight tip, so that would be dye.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake. We appreciate it, even if you're too good to join us.
Somebody's got to watch.
We have one person watching on. We have one person watch. Oh, we're up to 3 people watching now. But yeah, we had Jake watching and watching on Twitch. So yeah, now we have 2 people watching on Facebook. But well, the Scony looks cool. Now I just got to find like a cool colored ultra, like the dye tips. I guess they'd be pretty easy to find. Ultralight tips have been out for a while. So
well, I mean, he sells the whole system. It all comes as one thing. You don't have to find a tip. He's got it all.
Well, I know, but I want to be blingy. I want to show off.
Excuse me.
He wants it to be red.
I want to. No, I don't like red. I like purple.
We got the purple too.
I know.
All right. So Robert Hansen's joke is, I freaking hate red guns and I freaking hate blue guns. Not saying they're not attractive and not saying they're not good for everybody else, but I personally do not own, will not own, have no interest in ever owning a red or blue gun. They're just too basic. It's like, if you're going to be loud, be proud, be well endowed, just get it out there and just flash. But blue just sort of seems like, eh. And you know what I think it is? Well, the more I think about it, when I was growing up as a kid, my brother and I would always fight over, you can have a red toothbrush or a blue toothbrush. And it was always, those were the choices. Like, it was always just to get that or that. I just...
Bad memories.
Yeah, you know what? It's like, give me some color, give me some style, give me some pizzazz. So I'd rather just stay with plain black than go with red or blue, because then it can, any accents you put on it just gives it that little customization. I don't know. Just seems weak to me. I can just feel all the hatred incoming. I mean, there's only 2 people watching. That's probably why. Oh, this is a bad episode. But I'm glad you guys joined us. Thank you so much for helping me get through this. We won't make this train wreck go on too much longer, I don't think. But yeah, it's just, you know what? Like, the truth is lots been going on in my personal life, and I actually started coughing a lot last night, so I have to go for COVID testing tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm okay. I'm pretty sure I'm fine, because I didn't really cough much at all today. But still, I just started coughing for no reason. So let's go get the test, right?
Down to Wisconsin over the weekend?
I beg your pardon?
I said, did you run down to Wisconsin over the weekend?
Yeah,
like
no.
half Illinois went up.
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed to leave.
North Carolina is terrible.
I'm not allowed to leave the country.
Are they still doing the one where they like swab you up to your brain? That one, or
I'm getting a swab of some sort, whether it's up to my brain or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nasal swab. Yeah, they're gonna tickle the back of your eyeball.
Oh, fun! Yay! Yeah. But it looks like I'm gonna try to make. Looks like I'm gonna be at the ICC, assuming all things go well. So I don't know if anybody's joining me or not. Oh, Robert, I'll see you there, right?
Dude, that's
Yep, you'll see me there. I was talking to Andy yesterday. Yep, they're gonna be there.
Yes.
He said he's playing 5-man.
He is playing 5-man with Hatred. And I don't know if you guys watched the show where I had Tim Montresor on with the Automag show. But Tim and I had a long talk, and there's a good chance I'm going to be set up playing with somebody on 10-man. As to yet, we're not quite sure. But so it looks like if I make it, looks like I'll be playing 5-man and 10-man. And we might be setting up the Pit Pals program for the Ali Remembered Foundation, which would be sweet.
Right. I'll have
Has
my
that rolled out yet, Steve?
That's the thing. Like, we would have rolled out. We were hoping to roll out for Vegas, but we weren't able to get all our T's crossed and all our I's dotted. We pretty much got that settled while we were in Vegas, and then COVID hit, and that's the end of that. So we can't roll out if there's nothing open.
Yeah, that took out my my charity day and everything and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that was a tough one to have to give up on.
And Christopher Struck said, I still need to try out my Reds barrel kit. Well,
nice
considering how long those pepper sticks have been out,
those are all big bore. I was looking at these, man, the sizes are so big. The balls would just roll out of them. I think the smallest was an 8.7 in the kit I was looking at.
I'm pretty sure that Christopher Struck only shoots MagFed, so nobody's going to notice. I can just feel the hate. I'm basking in it.
MagFed first strike, so you can spend twice as much money on your paint and still not hit anything.
Dude.
Harsh. Now, and to be fair, I have nothing against First Strike, and I have nothing against MagFed.
Oh, me either. I hate the guy hiding in the trees somewhere with that.
Well, no, I have nothing against it. It's just
and I'm like, where the hell was he? Because that paint is accurate.
But
it
for
hurts.
me, it's just that when I started playing in the 80s and get into the 90s, and Sean can back me up on this because, Sean, you've been around since the late 80s, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we were playing to the point where we were just using pipe clamps and duct tape and everything we could to streamline our guns and make them perform better. And we were stripping buttons off and we were sewing in Velcro and we were moving all our packs to the back just so that we didn't have hard spots and things wouldn't break. So we wanted reliability, we wanted function, and we wanted to be better paintball players. It didn't matter what it looked like. It was we wanted to play better. Right, Sean?
Yeah.
And that's the way paintball evolved. And that's when you see speedballers and whatnot. That's how it evolved. And then you've got this mag-fed movement, which by all means, if you're getting off the couch and you're out playing paintball, awesome. Good for you. I will play alongside you. Like I'm just glad to have more people out playing. So I'm not bashing the movement. But they take and then all of a sudden they create these vests and they've got all these hard spots. They're putting it all back on and the clips that are less than reliable. You don't have the big loaders anymore. And it's just sort of like I did everything I could to strip my gun from taking safeties off and streamlining and just making everything good and make it specifically dedicated to being competitive and winning. And then MagFed comes along and it makes it all about looking cool. Now, I'm sure that the MG100s, from everything I've heard, are absolutely wicked markers, and I can't wait to try one. But it's still what the mag holds, 40 rounds, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the wrong people. Chris,
Yeah.
if you're out there watching, please tell me how many rounds a mag holds. But it's not 200, which is like.
Yeah, I know a couple of guys from Destiny Midwest running around with them. They play the scenario games and
right
with them, and they love them. When I'm picking up my tubes, I tend to find a couple of their magazines.
Right.
But they lose those a lot faster than I lose my nice bright tubes.
That's one thing I enjoy about the big games. Everybody loses mags. You hop off the field there after the final battle. All you see are Tip-X mags and everything else sitting on the ground, and everybody's got their own little insignia buried on it. Yep. But, I mean, half these guys these days, they forget that, I don't know how well this is going to show, but
Piranha long barrel.
We're talking mid to late 80s.
Yep. I love those guns.
Paved the way to, today's Tip-X.
Yeah.
And a lot of the younger generation, unfortunately, doesn't know the history behind it. But again, like you said earlier, they're getting in the game, so who really cares how they're?
I mean, that the most important thing. Like, we can smack talk all we want. I mean, the autococker versus automag smack talk. I miss that to this day, and it blows my mind that I'm actually building a mag right now to compete at ICC. That boggles my mind. I've got three high-end autocockers ready to go, but no, I'm building a mag just because I can and I want to be different. But
you'll fit in.
Yeah, I'll fit in because I'm all about peer pressure.
Team Fox is running automag.
Yeah, but I don't know. So this is a weird night. We should all be drinking or something.
You said we're not.
Actually, Sean, I got a quick question for you. Did you used to be the manager at Area 51?
No.
Okay, then I'm thinking of a different Sean.
I've teched for a couple fields.
Right.
And that in the recent, we'll say 5-6 years, I've teched on and off here and there for a couple fields with their fleets and that, and just being on site. But you might be thinking, what was it? I believe it was Sean Henderson.
Maybe that was it.
London way.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Dealt with flag swipe.
Well, I know that I started managing Area 51 there for a while. And for those of you that are watching, Area 51 was this really cool indoor field that was actually on an old Army base, Air Force base here in Toronto. And the whole thing was done up by the Booney Boys. But it was done up with leftover props from movies. So you would walk in Area 51, and there were actual aliens in Bacta tanks, like all trapped up, and there was a spaceship in the middle of the indoor field, and like it was a cool field. But when you walked in the main area, the place was amazing. Anyway, there was a Sean that was managing before me. And while I've heard about the guy, I don't know if I've ever actually met him. I just wasn't sure if it was the same Sean, just because you and I have played in so many of the same places, but we don't know each other. So I wondered, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go.
You've got Destiny. I got Pirates. Apparently, I've got a Bearded Works cozy on the way too.
Oh, nice.
Spoiled.
Well, you guys know the do you guys know about my $40 Automag that I bought from a pawn shop?
Yes, quit reminding me.
Well, I got rid of the TAC 1 body and I bought and I sold it, and then I've purchased a purple body from Jake, and I thought it'd be here by now, but it's not, and I'm sad.
When in doubt, contact Jake. He's probably got something you need.
Oh yeah.
That's been my experience.
Oh, it's shipped. I'm watching the tracking. Last thing it left Florida like about 8 days ago. So it's probably trying to cross the border.
So it went from South Carolina to Florida to go back up?
Yep. Yeah. So do you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to talk about? Because I just wanted to talk about barrels because I'm trying to decide what I want. And I think Ellie and I are going to talk about that Scony barrel once we shut this thing down. Yep. Because I'd like to give Freak Bores a try because I've never actually owned Freak Bores. I kind of wished it had took the Freak tip so that I could use that purple teardrop. But still, cool to try.
I got a handful here I could send out to you.
A handful of what?
I've got some of the old OG smart parts.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I've got a red one of the old.
I'm fully colorblind, so I'm assuming this is blue.
That is blue.
Okay.
Now that's just is that an autococker thread?
Yeah, this is autococker thread. I've got oh God, where did I put it? There's the question of the night.
And that's the stainless steel back?
That is, yeah.
Sweet. Andy said F1 and Freak Steve. Well, Andy, you joined in late. I flat out said that I would kill to get my hands on an F1 Freak, but somebody I know bought the black and purple one that was in Chicago, and I haven't seen one since. You big meanie. I went out, looked at it, said, you guys got to see it. Andy charges right out and buys the black and purple barrel. It's just like, oh. Truth, not that I could afford it, but.
Well, Steve, you got friends at GOG too that might help you out.
Do I have friends? Yes, I have friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At GOG, I mean, you never
couple.
Know. Yeah.
You know what? You know what? The truth of the matter is happily would I take something if it's offered. But I don't want to be that guy that always has his hands out saying, please give me free stuff. I mean, everybody in paintball has got their hands out going, please give me free stuff. Please give me free stuff. And truthfully, if it wasn't for my sponsors and the Ali Remember Foundation and whatnot helping me out, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of what I was doing because most of my money is spent on new microphones and stands and whatnot. But like I do not have the kind of money that I need to be doing all this traveling. What I do, however, is have loyal fans like you gentlemen. And people actually think I'm cool, which boy do I have them fooled. So not cool. But yeah, so I just don't want to be that guy that always has his hand out. You know what I mean? Like if like with Sean for saying like if Sean and I, because Sean's here in Ontario, so it's probably easier for me to just drop him a couple bucks and get that stainless steel freak back and maybe a couple inserts that I can use, and that would just be wicked. We'll talk about that off camera. No need to people see us negotiating. But I might as well do that, and then that way I can use the purple tip and just, you know, give it a whirl, give it a try. But haven't you guys noticed how so many people out there in paintball think, well, because I play paintball and because I like it, I deserve free stuff? That bugs me.
Hang around the speedball league. You'll see.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I know. Like, I mean,
Dude.
speedballers are all like, everybody's out there saying, well, I play, I'm as good as they are. Why don't I have free stuff? And the answer to the question is because you don't give the sponsors value for their money. Like, at least with me, and I'm not bragging by any stretch of the imagination because I really am not that fantastic. But I have a podcast. I have an open forum. I make sure that I plug my sponsors. Speaking of which, thank you guys for reminding me. Roll the sponsors down the bottom. I plug my sponsors, and you know what? I'm honestly passionate about what I have. Like my push goggles, for example. Can't really see them for this microphone now. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. But you know what I mean? And I just don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be calling up GOG or F1 or whatnot and saying, hey, send me a free barrel, you know, if I can help it. I really needed goggles, so I reached out to Brian Benini and whatnot and those guys at Push. I'm like, guys, what can I do to earn a goggle? And here we go. And so I got some goggles, and that's fantastic. And it's not like I don't represent Push, because you know, I don't know. It's just not who I am to put my hand out and beg. And Andy said I had Eric make the black and purple. Yes, Andy, I know. I was making a joke. I was having fun. I fully admitted that I couldn't afford the barrels anyway. I'm just jealous. So,
yeah, you should see all the G5 teams at the local field that think that they should get full sponsors, full everything. It's like, man, come on.
Yeah, you earn your way. Like, you got to pay your dues. You got to earn your way, and you have to give your sponsors value. Like, pros get paid because they actually go out, they do signings, they do different things. Cameras are on them. People pay to see them. You know what I mean? Like, they're the best of the best. People want to see, learn from, whatnot, and it makes sense. I have the little sponsorship that I have simply because I put myself out there. I bring stuff to people that has value, you know? So, hey, Robert, since you're playing with, speaking of sponsors, since you're playing with Team Fox, and although a lot of them are running the new nail guns, are you up in your game to a new nail gun?
You know, Steve, Tim tries to help us out as much as he can, but I cannot afford to step my game up to that nail gun.
Gotcha.
I did,
now, I'm not saying the carbon fiber, but
I did have him put the level 10 into my automag this spring.
Right.
And then I added the docks adapter so I could run my freak kit. But yeah, we're still left feed, power feed, classic body, 68 automatic classic valve.
Hey, but you know what? It rocks.
It does. It runs. And the thing I love about it is when we put level 10 and stuff in, I had the hyper frame on it for the longest time.
Right.
The electronic trigger frame. And when the board in that finally died on me last fall, rest in peace, I loved that thing. But we left that on off because it had a thinner pin than the regular pins. We left that on off in there, and that trigger pull is so light and so snappy from that small hyper frame on off in there that I'm surprised more people haven't kept those when they took their hyper frames off.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I knew it took a different pin, but I really don't know that much about mags, other than I think it's cool. And I think they're the last iconic paintball manufacturer that's still cranking out gear to a degree. I mean, they're not like what they used to be. They're just buying custom parts from everything else and then reassembling and just keeping the name going and manufacturing new valves, I guess. But, I kind of like to see that iconic brand come back.
Do you think they will come back?
Hard to say.
If we could actually get that nail gun rolling like a production gun, I would say the Automag would definitely be able to make a comeback. That gun is nice.
Well, I know I've had a number of talks with Sandman over the last couple months because of the article and whatnot, and he's a great guy. I love him to death. And my God, is he smart? Like, as far as the inner workings of the gun go. But he doesn't, I don't know. It seems like he wants to keep things in a certain limitation for safety reasons. And I get that from a business perspective. I totally get that. And in no way, shape, or form am I criticizing or putting him down for it. Like, please know that I have nothing but the utmost respect for Tim. But there are opportunities that I personally, and I'm not going to say what they are, but there are opportunities that I think he should have seized, and he's chosen not to. And that's not, I mean, it's his business. It's his money. You know what I mean? He's got to do what's smart. And considering he's helped keep Airgun Designs alive for so long, like, you got to hand him a credit. Like, you have to respect the man. You just have to. But I mean, I have a different opinion of how it should be done, but seeing as how it's not my money, I can have all the opinions that I want. It means zero, because it's him gambling with his livelihood. So I fully respect it. But as for Airgun Designs coming back the way it was, did you guys all read the article in Paintball Media Magazine?
Yeah.
Okay. Airgun Designs actually folded in 2005, and then Airgun Designs USA was started to sell off the old parts, and then airgundesigns.com was also started to try to sell off. So David, and I forget what David's last name is, forgive me, he runs Airgun Designs USA, and he's the one that has the valves manufactured, as I understand it. And then airgundesigns.com is Sandman, and he gets all the parts, he puts them together, and he sells off the guns and whatnot. So Dave has parts. Dave only sells to Sandman, and Sandman is, so Dave is like a distributor, and Sandman is the retail aspect of it. Whereas Airgun Designs back in the day was a one-stop shop, and they would mass manufacture large amounts and they would sell them out. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm developing a cough and I gotta go get tested tomorrow. Yay. So yeah, I find it, the way it's currently set up, I have a hard time seeing
the way it's currently set up. It would be tough to mainstream.
Yeah,
production just wouldn't be.
Yeah, and now I have heard some rumors from different people. Oh, and somebody kicked in Dave Zupan. Thank you. Yeah, Jake. Thank you, Jake. Like, I've heard rumors about it may go this direction, it may go that direction, but ultimately they're just rumors, and they carry no weight. At the end of the day, it is Sandman's choice, and you got to respect it, because he's kept Airgun Designs alive. He's tried to bring it back. He's done a lot over the last 5 years, because I mean, Airgun Designs just made the cover of a magazine, boys and girls, and that's it's been a decade and a bit. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But I know that in the last month, airgun design prices went through the roof. Not only on the website, like the new stuff because of supply issues, but all used prices have all gone up as well.
Yeah,
So
I'm not eBay and twist lock freak kid, so I had to buy a Knox adapter. Last one I saw was $100 just for the back.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, with that in mind, if the prices are now skyrocketing, then that makes it worth it to actually look at producing them again because they're in demand. But you got to ride the wave. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from this point forward. And right now with the lockdown and people going out of business and stuff like that, I don't think we're going to know a good answer until next year. And who knows what's going to happen in a year. Because right now it could just be a fad and a wave. And I don't know. So yeah, Sean, you're rocking free flows right now, right?
Yeah, I've got a free flow as a primary.
Yeah. And is that the main one that you're using? Like, obviously it's your primary, but like, is there like a couple different guns you're using? Or are you basically sticking with autocockers right now?
I try to stick with autocockers. I love plus, you know, anywhere I go, everybody's always asking me what I'm bringing. Lately, getting into the speedball and that again.
Right.
You know, I'll go to the odd small and because we're running electronic, I'm either going to run mech against them with the cockers, or I'm going to turn around and I'll bring out some of the old girls like the Vikings.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, I haven't seen a Viking in forever.
I don't know if I should have insulted, though. There was a guy that called my Viking an angel last year.
Yeah, but yeah. People are dumb. Well, not dumb. That's not fair. They just don't know.
I'll give them credit. Triple two.
I beg your pardon? I didn't hear what you said, Sean.
For being a triple.
Oh. All right, guys. Well, listen, we've been on the air. We've been on this train wreck for about an hour and 20 minutes. And I think it's time to just kill it. Is there anything you guys want to bring up or add or plug? Sean, do you want to plug your new you want to plug your shop one last time that you're trying to get up and running?
I'm getting a crappy signal right now.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't make out what you guys are saying.
All right. Elliot, you want to plug your
Canines for Service, Dogs on Deployment, sponsors being Simon, Virtue, Immortal Air, GOG,
Predator,
Predator, CK, Chris. I want to bring him on. He's actually engraving my fighter right now for Carolina Hustle.
Nice.
So that'd be cool. Yeah, hopefully get that back next week. And shout out to Saber Wolf for letting me use their, you know, they have the marks, you know?
Yeah.
So I reached out to Justin. He was cool with that. So I'm really
Justin
excited.
is such a good guy.
Dude, are you kidding me? He's actually my new my snake identifier, because I got living in North Carolina, we got snakes everywhere.
Right.
And be like, dude, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's all right, it's not venomous. So he's a hell of a guy for sure.
He's a legit brain surgeon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's no joke.
Like
yeah, that's no joke.
It's like you make the joke like, well, he's a rocket science or brain surgeon. He's a legit brain surgeon.
Yeah, he's a special dude. I mean, I guess with his daughter Anna, they're 3 generations paintball.
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty cool to see.
Well, I had them on my podcast, and then I think Reaper actually did all 3 generations on a podcast at one point too.
Yeah.
It's out there. I don't know if Reaper has it on YouTube or not, but
I'd have to look. But yeah, I mean, that's Saber Wolves, man. That's a legit team for sure.
So anyway, well, Sean Halpin dropped. His signal got patchy, unfortunately, is what it is. And Robert, always a good seeing you. Hopefully, I see you in a couple months.
Yeah, hopefully you make it down. They let you come to the country.
If they'll let me out of the country, chances are I'll be there.
Sounds good.
We'll
have to shoot at each other this time, maybe.
No, we're gonna be on the same team.
Oh well.
Like
Okay.
I'm going to be an alternate for Team Fox.
All right. Well,
likely. I shouldn't say definitely. Likely, I'll be an alternate for Team Fox.
oh, you'll live a little longer in the woods, right, Steve?
We'll see. Well, to be fair, at Chicago, I was told
was
to
a
go
tough
for
bunker.
one bunker,
Yeah,
and
that's a tough
I
bunker.
was getting smoked out of the break every single time. I hadn't practiced. I was running on no sleep. I had a little bit of like a minor jet lag. Like I was. Everything was stacked against me. I mean, everything. I had never even used that gun in a tournament ever, and it wasn't functioning until after practice. One of the guys on Destiny Midwest teched it for me and got it actually performing the way it's supposed to. And it's an E-Tech 4, but it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't set up right, and it needed to be set. So but watching the pros play, every time pros tried to go in that bunker, they were getting smoked too. So I don't feel so bad when J-Rab can't make the frickin' thing. You know what I mean? So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Man. Steve.
And Sean said, thanks for the invite. Sean, you're always welcome. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys all soon. Play with passion, everybody, and keep your paint dry.
Later.
Bye.